Isn't it really appropriate though that I'm like doing this video about catching up and it's late? I feel like that kind of summarizes my 2019-2020. Like, everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be the 10 years challenge book tag. So it was going around at the end of 2019. I will link the original one down below. But I wanted to kind of look past to the last 10 years and just answer those questions for fun. So let's do this. Question number 1. What was your favorite book in 2009? In school, I wasn't reading. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest. As soon as I hit high school, I stopped pretty much any reading because I had to do so much studying, so I wasn't really reading for fun. The only thing I remember doing was rereading Harry Potter during the summers, and sometimes I would read other stuff, but like nothing really marked me as much as Harry Potter, which I feel like every time I do those Q&As, so those and like tags and stuff, I'm always mentioning Harry Potter, but like for me this was like when I really fell in love hard with reading. I was already reading a ton, but like it's the first series that I remember falling so hard in love with. Not the most original answer, but it's definitely the most honest one. So, what is your favorite book of 2019? So what was my favorite book of 2019? It is so hard to choose one because I read more favorite books, you know, more 5-star books than ever last year, even though I have mentioned actually my best books of 2019 that I was getting a bunch of comments saying that, you know, I'm basically the Grinch. I don't love any books. Why am I even reading books at this point? And I have more books in 2019 that I've loved than all the years before. I believe I had 13. Let me count it because we're gonna go back and I will choose the number 1. I had 15 on Goodreads. So some of them are like 4.5, but like still 15 out of 100 books. That's a really good percentage in my opinion. So I'm happy with that number. I'm not happy to have to choose a favorite one. This is not fair because like I have so many really fantastic sci-fi and fantasy one. Can I choose one of each? And even I'm saying that and I'm still gonna struggle really. Fudge. How do people answer one thing? There's no way. Maybe I can just like choose something that isn't sci-fi and fantasy and just say A Little Life. But this was like a horrible book. Obviously I loved it, but it was horrible. Maybe the Ancestor trilogy by Mark Lawrence? I hate choosing one, but yeah, we're gonna go with that. So that's the best adult fantasy, or if I have to choose only one, I guess the best book that I've read, the best series that I've read in 2019. Wow, this sucks. Like I hate choosing favorites. Like I don't know if you've noticed, often I get those questions in Q&As and I tend to avoid answering because I can't do it. I hate it. So yeah, that was torturous. Question number 3. What was your least favorite book in 2009? How do people even remember? I'm sure it was a book that I had to read in school, like straight up. I have had to read so many like classic French Canadian books. And like, I know a lot of people love like Gabriel Roy and all that. I think the fact that you had to read it in school is probably not helping, but yeah. What was your least favorite book in 2019? Oh, that I remember. I got a lot, and I mean a lot of hate. Dune. I am such a doo-doo head. Like I'm so naive. Like sometimes, like I literally went and added my link to some of my popular reviews on Goodreads. I imagine people being like, oh, I want to hear more about it. Click on the link, listen to what I have to say. No, I got like 30 dislikes, I think, in like one day when I put the link on Dune, because obviously people are doo-doo heads and they're like, she didn't like my favorite book. Let me like not only leave a silly comment, but let me instead just, you know, dislike her video. So I had to like go ahead and delete the link because naive me thought people would be adults about it. So yeah, that is my least favorite book of 2019, I'm pretty sure. It's just that like I actively hated it because I was looking forward to reading it so much. I know there's a movie, I think it's coming out in November. Well, it was supposed to come out in November this year. I will probably like it. I will probably watch it, but I'm not expecting to like it. Wow, my brain did some gymnastics there. Yeah, I don't know. meh. What is a book published in 2009 that you still want to read? Oh my gosh. So I had to Google some because on Goodreads you can't see it easily. That is so annoying. I think it was published in 2009. There's Under the Dome by Stephen King, which I've been meaning to read it because as a kid I read a book. I'm assuming it was like stolen. The idea was stolen from it. But like I was reading this little kid, Peggy Sue, and she was going on like adventures because aliens were basically hating her. That sounds so weird. But at one point she goes to a new town and the aliens create this dome over the town, which isn't that similar to that one? Anyway, I have yet to read that and I was looking forward to reading it. I've been looking forward to reading it for years. The only thing is I know that the ending sucks, which is always the case, I feel like, with Stephen King. Or The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I have yet to read this. My mom and sister read this when it came out or was translated in French. And for some reason I never wanted to read it. Usually would all read the same book after the other just to talk about it, but I never got around. I just never necessarily cared. And I do have that on my shelf. So eventually I should read this because I know there has been a movie. I know it's a trilogy. It's completely out, which usually I hate having to wait. So I wouldn't have to wait. So I don't know why, but I never picked it up. So I think that's gonna be my real answer. So yes, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for sure. What is a book published in 2019 you want to get to before 2020? Well, shit, I'm clearly late for that one, but we're gonna say before the end of 2020. Let's go with that. Oh, I should definitely include, even though, Children of Ruin by Adrian Tchaikovsky. It's been on my TBR every month pretty much since it was published in May 2019. So hopefully in May I read it. I've been catching up pretty well, but yeah, I think Children of Ruin is definitely my number one, but I also really want to read The Toll. So yes, The Toll and Children of Ruin are two sci-fi books actually that I really, really, really want to read by the end of 2020 because I wanted to read them before the end of 2019. What is a genre you used to read a lot of that you don't read as much of anymore? I had a phase as a teenager reading a lot of contemporary romance. You heard that right. I used to really like those really tragic teenage romance. I can't even tell you one title. Like they just blend into each other, right? But yes, like friends at school and stuff, they would read that type of book and I would eat them up and feel like this is so tragic, my broken little teenage heart. Or all those like Shopaholic. I don't remember the exact title, but those books, I read them in French, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that I used to love reading those two, and I haven't read something like that in forever. So yeah, definitely good answers. You just admit it, you did not expect that from me. 8. What is a new genre you've discovered since 2009? To be honest, I already, like, you know, I was telling you Peggy Sue, there were some aliens in there, so sci-fi, you know, I was already reading some fantasy, so what else did I discover? And I was reading a lot of like Mary Higgins Clark, whatever that my parents had, so I was already, you know, reading those like mystery thriller. So I don't think I've really discovered anything. I feel like I've been pretty consistently reading anything and everything I could get my hands on since forever. So what genre did you discover? Did I bring you on the dark side with like sci-fi? Number 9, what is a reading book habit you are hoping to leave behind in this decade? How appropriate. My pile of shame. Let's be real, it's not gonna happen. But if by the end of the year I could stop starting books that I like and put them down for no reason and never finish them, that would be great. That would be really, really great. But yeah, that is literally something I was hoping to end in 2020. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. And last but not least, what is a new reading goal or habit you want to create in the upcoming decade? I don't know why I can't pronounce this right now. It's kind of related because I want to keep achieving goals. Like I've been really focusing on that this year, right? Every month I'm doing like a different challenge. And I want to keep trying to balance out reading the classics that I really wanted to read since forever, but also having like an open mind and getting out of my comfort zone. But sometimes I do feel like I'm struggling to balance both, and I feel like I favor one or the other. And then like last year, I feel like I was reading a bunch of the ones I felt I had to read slash, you know, that were part of my like reading challenges, like my Goodreads one, which a lot of the books unfortunately ended up becoming like meh or like bad books. They were mentioned my most disappointing and like worst books of 2019 because so many of them were just not great, and not because they were out of my comfort zone, but just I feel like the winners were not really appealing, or I just did not connect to them. So I really struggled with that last year, but I still want to try and do it a little bit. If it goes really badly this year again, maybe I'll just, you know, skip it for a few years or something. But yes, I want to continue trying to find a balance between genres, between my TBR, you know, balancing the classics and yeah, the ones I feel like I have to read. I don't really have to read them, but I mean, getting out of my comfort zone, because I feel like otherwise I will just read the same stuff over and over again, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not something I want. So yeah, that isn't a new habit, but it's something I want to keep trying to achieve because I don't feel like I am currently comfortable with where I'm at. I do want to just continue using my library. I just want to still read the books that I have on my shelf and just like keep it active. I feel like I haven't been reading a ton in 2020 so far, and to be fair, I have some good excuses, you know, but gotta keep doing it. I'm announcing it now because I want your help a little bit. I'm planning on doing a video where it's probably gonna be like a week of videos about the best and the worst books that I've read out of all of the ones I've read since I started BookTube, so like 400 books. So once I hit the 400 books, I will do the videos, but currently I'm planning on doing like the best, like maybe a top 10 just to torture myself. But what other categories would you like me to do? Because right now I'm thinking to do like 3 videos a week, which I've been trying to do consistently. So at least 2 more ideas, but if there's anything good, I am willing to do like up to 5 videos that week. So just find some good ideas. Maybe I can do like the best in each category that isn't my favorite genre or something. I don't know. You tell me. I feel like the worst would be kind of mean, but that's definitely a possibility too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I shall see you in my next video very soon. Bye.